Welcome, Star Wars Unlimited fans, to a new era of Star Wars Unlimited videos here at Mama Dragon's TCG. For our first 3 videos of Star Wars Unlimited, we played over here at Force Table, where we took 2 decks, and one deck was controlled by AI, the other deck was controlled by us. In my opinion, it's not all that great, because the fact of the matter is, it's not really like playing a person or anything like that, but it was all we really could do because at the time, I didn't know about Karabast, a free online open source fan-made platform where you can come in, bring your deck, and play against actual other people on the internet who also want to play Star Wars Unlimited. So yes, I now have found Karabast. Now, Karabast only lets you do a best of 1. So there's no best 2 out of 3s in Karabast. Think of it back when we used to do Lorcana, back on Pixelboard, where it was only a best of 1 game. Now, typically the games are best 2 out of 3, but for these series, we're only going to be doing a best of 1. So one-time game, we're seeing how well we can do with the deck against whatever our opponent brought with us. If you guys want to see best 2 out of 3 with this deck against, say, 2 other decks, so we would, at most, play 3 different decks. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want the best 2 out of 3, or if you guys just want to go with the best of 1. But right now, we're going to do best of 1. But anyways, we're still going to use Force Table. Force Table is where we're going to look at the deck, and then we're going to go take that deck into Karabast, and we are going to play it. Anyways, today, I thought, let's take another aggro deck, because I had some really good success at a premiere at a local game store, Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana, with Tarkin Rapid Assault, or aggro Tarkin. Green-red. It's green-black-red. I had a really good success. Now, I did post in my community tab a picture of the deck profile I took. It wasn't the deck profile we checked out in that video. It was our 3rd official video of Star Wars Unlimited. It should be appearing in the corner in YouTube, so you can go check that out. But that deck we played against the Leia aggro deck as well. But anyways, I was searching around. What do I want to play? What do I want to try out? I mean, there's a lot of decks right now. Again, Jump to Lightspeed is very, very close to being released right now. We're only a couple more weeks until the pre-releases drop. Jump to Lightspeed drops officially in the TCG on March 14th. I already got a booster box pre-ordered, so we will be cracking that for the channel. I'm kind of hyped for Jump to Lightspeed. It's basically just, if you've seen the reveals, you can go to StarWarsUnlimited.com. That's the Fantasy Flights domain that they own for this game. You can see all the leaders and stuff, and there's a lot of really cool leaders in this set right now. Of course, everyone's going to go Piet for the gameplay because he just like spams out capital class vessels everywhere. But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting gameplay to see how people like cycle it up. It also starts rotation, so that will be the first set that will officially start the rotation era. So if you don't know, Fantasy Flight has told us that they are going to rotate out the sets. It looks like March 26th, we will lose Sparks of Rebellion, Shadows of the Galaxy, and Twilight of the Republic. While it is a little sad to see Twilight of the Republic just go out only after 1 year of release, that's just how it kind of is with rotation in a strange way. That's your last set. The last set that you spent the least amount of time in, this set being Twilight of the Republic, is always going to go out. So, I mean, yeah, it's always going to suck that we're always going to have, like, the last set that releases before the next rotation is always not going to be the most, like, explosive set in the format because you're not going to have a lot of time with it. I would like to span it out to 3 years or drop that down to every 2 sets. I don't know. Fantasy Flight has listened to its fans before and made changes, so we'll just kind of see what happens with the whole rotation thing. I know it got a lot of people up in arms about it, but I'm not so much up in arms about it just because I played Pokemon, and I know that that game does rotate so many sets out as each generation comes out. But enough about rotations. You guys can let me know down in the comments your thoughts on rotation, if Fantasy Flight basically butchered rotation or anything like that. But in my opinion, let's all calm down about rotation. I think by the time Jump to Lightspeed comes out, most people probably won't be playing a lot of the Twilight of the Republic cards. I mean, most of them aren't even seeing a lot of play today. But anyways, enough about all of that and about rotations and anger and all of that. We are here to talk about aggro IG-88 or aggro IG. This is another deck that only plays commons and uncommons. You can upgrade this with rares if you so want to, but the original creator created this with no rares in sight. So this is just straight up IG-88 and a bunch of commons and uncommons. Anyways, IG-88, the Ruthless Bounty Hunter, on his unawakened side, because I still don't know what to call this side, his non-epic side. I'm going to call his non-awakened side. He is a tap, just a tap him, and then attack with a unit. If you control more units than the defending player, that unit gets a +1/+0 on his attack. Now, he awakens at 5/4. Or at 5 resources at a 5/4. And what he does on his awakened side is that he gives all other characters besides himself raid 1. So the whole shtick of this deck is that we don't care about controlling the board presence. We don't care about any of that. All we care about is punching our opponent's base and they counteracting us. Again, this is one of those decks you don't want to go wide into or wide across just in case you deal with, decks that have ability to deal with whiteboard states. Here we are just about attacking the opponent's base, and our opponent has to come and counteract us. Basically, they have to come and figure out how to deal with all our cards. That's the whole stick of this deck. We beat down your base. You have to come and beat us before we beat down your base. We're not here to play the trade game unless you have to trade into a Sentinel. That's the only time you're going to have to bash one of your opponent's cards if they have a Sentinel. Other than that, go crazy. Anyways, for the rest of the deck week, we are using the Jedha city. You could use really any city you want to. But Jedha over here basically is an epic action city of give a non-leader unit -4/-0. And then typically we're going to end on 5 resources because that's all we need for IG-88. And then again, when we're getting closer to winning the game, that's when we will awaken IG-88 because he's only a 5/4. He's not that tough of a leader. Anyways, like I said, we're using Jedha City. You could probably use any yellow base. We're just using Jedha City kind of to protect ourselves with that -4/-0 epic action. For the rest of the deck, we have 3 Benthic 2-tubes, again on attack. Another friendly red unit gains raid 2. We have 3 of the Crafty Smuggler. He gains a shield. By the way, all of these are also from Spark of the Rebellion. So if you have multiple boxes of Spark of the Rebellion, this is what this deck uses. 3 Death Star Stormtrooper. 3 the Greedo. When defeated, you may discard a card from your deck. If it's not a unit, deal 2 damage to a ground unit. We got 2 Jawa Scavengers with that Saboteur. 3 Snow Trooper Lieutenant. When played, you may attack with a unit. If it's an Imperial unit, it gets +2/+0. We do have a couple of Imperial units. He's just here again. This is not to attack our opponents, but guys, this is to give a buff to our guy, to our card, our Imperial card, so that it can go and bash our opponent's base. Again, all this deck does is bash bases. Don't care about anything. Sentinels, that's the only thing we'll have to deal with. We rather our opponent deal with us than we deal with them. Our whole stick, pound the base, and move on forward. We got 3 Swoop Racer, 3 of the Viper Probe Droid. When play, look at our opponent's hand. That's about it. If we had some hand control in here, we could do stuff with that, but we don't. Anyways, that is our ground units. For space, we have 3 Cartel Spacer. When played, you control another yellow unit, exhaust an enemy unit with a cost 4 or less. 3 Ruthless Raider. This would be the only time we need to charge a 6th energy. After we hit 5, we're typically not going to charge anymore. After that, we're just playing Little Weenie Beatdown. We're going to just run all our little weenies out, and we're just going to go beat down our opponent's base and force them, like I said, to come after us. So anyways, if we happen to top deck a Ruthless Raider on a 6th, on when we can get up to 6 energy, then we will go with 6 energy Ruthless Raider. Again, it's really nice because, again, the Ruthless Raider deals 2 damage to any base. So if we just need to deal that extra 2 damage, this just basically wins us the game. 3 Ruthless Raiders, when played and when defeated, deal 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to an enemy unit. We're running 3 of the 7th Fleet Defender. It is shielded. 2 Star Wing Scout. When defeated, if you have initiative, draw 2 cards. Again, you may not have the initiative, but this is just here because it's a 4/1 beat stick. that can become a 5/1 beat stick if you give it the IG ability. And then finally, 3 TIE Fighters. For our events, we have 3 Asteroid Sanctuary. Exhaust enemy unit, give a shield token to a friendly unit that costs 3 or less. I highly recommend giving it to the Star Scout so that at least it can't die on its first attack. And it can deal out that 4 damage for free. 2 Bamboozle. You may discard a yellow card from your hand instead of paying this event's cost. Exhaust a unit and return each upgrade to its owner's hand. So basically, if we need to exhaust characters and then return upgrades to their hand, that is really good. Then we have 2 Force Choke. Could never control a force unit, so we're always paying 2 for this. We just deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit, and then that unit's controller draws a card. No good to me, dead. 3 of that. Exhaust a unit that unit can't raid during this round, including during the regroup phase. Now, as a reminder, just so you understand, when do you actually restand everything? It's at the end of the turn. It's really weird. Where you would think like Magic, where then we would draw, then restand everything. That's your ready phase. At the end of after both you and your opponent have officially passed the game, one of you has taken initiative and someone else has taken the final pass, you guys ready the resources. So you regroup everything and then start the next turn with whoever took initiative. So it's really weird that you regroup at the end before you move into the next round. So be cautious about that. That's why you can't restand the guy that you hit it with no good to me dead. And then we have Open Fire. 3 of it. Again, we just deal straightforward damage to a unit. Again, the events are more for control, to control some things on our opponent's board state. We are not here to play control. We're here to use these cards mostly to just deal damage where we can, but most of the time we want to be spamming the board with our bodies, not over spamming, depending on the colors we're running into, and just passing our opponent's base and forcing our opponent to have to counteract us. So that is the deck. Let's jump into Karabast and see how well we do. All right, here we go for our best of 1, and we've been not horrible. I mean, we're missing like a 1-drop for space, so I think I'm going to take the mulligan and see if we can get a 1-drop for space. And, well, we didn't open the 1-drop for space. We will do... Oh, wow, this is actually kind of tough right now. Let's do Asteroid Sanctuary. And let's go with a Bamboozle. Okay, so anyways, we are playing over here Mr. Han Solo. See what this does? It's Han Red. Han Solo, action, you tap him and you put a card from your hand as a ready resource. But at the end of the next phase, you have to kill that resource. So this whole Han deck is about using the cards of the galaxy, the 1-drops that allow, or the smuggle cards that allow you to play them as resources, and then you just smuggle them out of your resource area. Now, if you've ever seen a smuggle card, exactly what I would call the most intuitive card in the world, how it how it looks and all of that. Well, there's our space unit. We'll lose the Viper. But yeah, so the smuggle cards are a little strange. You see that they have 4 plus the aspect. So to play a smuggle card, you just have to pay the 4 and have to have the aspect. Now again, in this game, if you don't have the aspect, all you have to do is 2 more energy for each aspect you don't own. So let's say Tech was a blue. He was 4 blue smuggle. Even though you have him in your deck with just yellow, white, red, you can still play him, but you'd be paying 6 energy. 4 for his natural cost, plus 2 more for the non-aspect. As the game is yelling at me. We're going to do a Force Choke. It does draw him a card, but, I mean, again, we're playing a little bit. Preferably, I don't want the Tech on the board anyways, because then he just makes all my opponent's resources smuggle. IG-88, attack, swing. We will play this TIE Fighter, and then we will swing. Again, the whole stick of our deck here is we are playing Turbo Punch You in the Face deck. So he's going to trigger here so that he can drop a 5, or he can smuggle a card out. We're then going to trigger the IG-88 attack to attack there. Again, we want our opponent to try to counter us. We don't care about countering them. Play this. tech's already got 3 damage. He is going to steal one of our resources. I think he played it through the smuggle. Yes, he did play it through the smuggle. When that happens, one of my resources straight up. Gives a non. Okay, so we're still gonna have to take the 4 attack from this. We will use the ability. It was not a unit card. That could have been nice to attack him. All right. I think honestly, let's. Now he does have more units than us, so technically he does actually outpace the IG-88. Anyways, we will swing, but he doesn't have any space units now, mind you. So it does mean we are dealing damage on the space side of things. We will play, and then we will play this out on space as well. He can play out Mace Windu. We will epic action to give that a -4 if he wants to reuse it. If no, then that's perfectly fine. IG-88 can come out this turn, and that'd give us a raid 1, which gives us 4, 8, 3 plus IG-88's attack. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do some quick math as I wiggle my thing here. The swoop speeder can go. Okay. So, let's see. If we do 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 18, that's 29. IG-88 does win it for us, but mind you that IG-88 does die here. We do have the 4, so we can attempt to do some quick destruction here. Let's kill off the Han Solo so we don't have to deal with him. Swing. We do not have more, so swing. Goes out as well, so we can't even trigger Han Solo's ability. We'll swing. And it looks like he decided to... He played another thief. Okay, so he stole another resource from me. He's not letting me awaken with IG-88. He knows for a fact if I get IG-88 out, he's just dead. I reckon he's dead at this point too. So we'll do this. The first attack will probably be Windu. And Mace Windu did win him the game. Came down to a close. Well, that is our best of 1. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, let me know down in the comments if you guys want this to become a best 2 out of 3, with the understanding there's a chance that we would be playing 2 more different decks instead of maybe we try the rematch, but we'd probably be playing 2 more different decks, kind of like we did for Lorcana at Pixelboard. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed these just aggro punch style decks where we only have a few cards that really just control our opponent's board state. Our whole shtick is to literally punch our opponent in the face and tell them, you deal with our guys, I'm going to just sit here and punch our stuff in the face. Again, we don't want to bring out IG-88 because he's only a 5/4 until we know we can either win the game, or if we know for a fact our opponent doesn't have much in their board presence and we can just bring him out safely and at least start raiding into stuff. So, again, it's kind of always important on how exactly you want to go with and when you want to deploy IG-88. Again, we kind of want to just sit on the 5 energy. The only time we want to go to 6 is if we got a Ruthless Raider. Again, it does suck that we saw Vance twice, and he did smuggle out twice 2 of our resources, so we couldn't do much with them. But again, that isn't really impactful for us because, again, we were already punching with a bunch of the cartel stuff over here in the space area, a bunch of the space ships over here, and our opponent basically was controlling the ground. Maybe if we had, you know, I think if we had, like a 30 base, I think we would have survived and won that game that next turn because, again, he swings, we had the Carbonite to freeze one of his guys, and then all we need to do is then next turn swing with 2 of our space units, and we literally win the game. So, again, everything comes out with Summoning Sickness unless you have, like, Cassian Andor, unless he had, like, a smuggle ability of Cassian Andor in his resources, where then he could have smuggled out Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor, when smuggled out, comes into play active. But yeah, Nonetheless, this deck is really cheap to make. It's just a bunch of commons and uncommons from Sparkle Rebellion. So it's just a lot of fun. Again, the whole stick, bash our opponent's base. We use the little events to sometimes control board presence on our opponent's side of the board, but we are here to bash our guys into your base and tell our opponent, you gotta respond to us. We do not respond to you. But yeah, you guys can let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this aggro IG-88 build. What were your thoughts over on the gameplay? Did you see something that I could have done better against that Han Solo deck? Was just seeing the 𝐒𝐍𝐍𝐄𝐄, basically the cripple point for us. But yeah, let me know all of that down in the comments. And again, let me know if you guys want to see this series go to a best 2 out of 3 with these decks rather than a best of 1. But with that, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mama Dragon's TCG.